Joe Burrow and the Bengals are playing in the preseason. Will it lead to a faster start this year? That plus thoughts on Shemar Stewart, TJ Slaton, the Bengals defensive line, and I go one-on-one with Isaiah Williams right now on Enter the Jungle. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Enter the Jungle. I'm James Rapien. He's Andrew Fox Miller. Catch us every single Tuesday on the YouTube channel Cincinnati Bengals Talk, weekly on FanDuel Sports Network. We're brought to you by Garage Beer. We're brought to you by Lake Spur Marketing, and we are really excited to be with you this week, Andrew. Obviously, football is back. We've watched Joe Burrow for multiple weeks now in training camp. Obviously, he's talked about wanting to get off to a fast start to this year. Zach Taylor has talked about that as well. Let's dive into this a little bit more. And high level, do you think deep down that playing in the preseason is going to lead to the Bengals starting faster, going to Cleveland ready to go, getting a win week one against a Browns team that, let's be honest, they should beat, and then coming home for an orange out against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who traded up with the Browns to get Travis Hunter, were drafting in the top 10 and handle business? Do you think they're going to get off to a fast start? And if so, how much of playing in the preseason is going to be part of that?
It's really hard to answer. I think the simple way of putting it would just be that I don't want to wonder. We need to rule it out. I know they did it last year. They had some meaningful snaps in preseason last year. Speaking of Joe Burrow and key players on the offense, every fan of the Bengals right now is sick of slow starts. Fans are sick of it. Players are sick of it. It was a big topic last offseason. It seems as though Zach Taylor and his team have tried taking control of the situation and making it almost a theme for this offseason and training camp. You don't want slow starts. You probably shouldn't have your starters sitting out preseason reps that are about as true speed as you can get in the month of August, reps that other teams will be taking advantage of for their star players. Some fans don't want their team to take the risk for key players getting injured and all that. I get it. I share that concern, but which risk are you taking? Assuming this is going to help, do you want another slow start? Because while that gave us some meaningful football in December of last season, James, it ended with Joe Burrow eating a sandwich on his couch as the Bengals were eliminated from the postseason. So it's what Joe Burrow wants is what it comes down to, right? Does it even matter if it's what Joe Burrow wants?
No, actually, it shouldn't matter, which is probably takey for a lot of people, because I think a lot of what Joe says should matter. That I think players view it, they want to play, and if they play, they don't play, in fine. But you mentioned Joe Burrow eating a sandwich. I was like, man, yeah, the last thing I want is Joe Burrow doing his best Andrew Fox Miller impression.
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of January. And so, yes, I agree. I want to see him on the football field. And this is the thing that they haven't tried. Where they haven't gone in, attacked training camp in a certain way where they know they're going to play in the first couple of preseason games. So to your point, like, they should try it. They need to try it. I remember Zach Taylor, when I took the Cincinnati Bengals Talkmobile through it would seem like a foot of snow to get down to Paycor Stadium on the day that they fired Lou Anarumo and Frank Pollock. You remember that day? I remember that day. And guess what? He was like, yeah, we need to start faster. That was January. We're into August. He's been thinking about this a long time. We'll see if it pays off. We won't know until the games start. We won't know until they go to Cleveland. And by the way, pressure's on, because when you go to Cleveland, you better come back with a win. I'm saying it right now. Right now. There is no excuse. There's no scenario. There's no, no. It is very much like the Patriots game last year. And I know it's a division opponent and it's on the road. They have like 52 quarterbacks out there up north, up 71 right now.
Yeah, there aren't enough preseason reps to go around for that amount of quarterbacks.
It better work, because if it doesn't work and you get worked by the Browns, who have had your number, well, then something's gone way wrong, because they're more talented. They're better. Obviously, they have the better quarterback. So I think I'm the only one in Cincinnati that's like, I don't really care that much about preseason. And I know that Joe Burrow does, and he wants the reps. That's why you said give Joe what he wants. Fine. But it better work, because if it doesn't work, then my goodness, the risk is far not worth it. So they better start 2-0, I guess is my mindset.
I can't help but think, as we're saying all of this, it sort of mirrors a lot of the dialogue regarding a lot of the choices heading into the season, particularly changing, you mentioned Lou Anarumo, changing your defensive coordinator and not a whole lot else on the defense outside of the draft. We've said it time and time again, this defense is relatively the same. And now they're hanging a lot on the idea that Al Golden can make a big difference here. It seems to me that they're putting a lot of stock into the idea that preseason reps, a significant amount, relatively speaking, is going to make a difference with slow starts. What else can you do, though? I think it is a matter of ruling it out. And I don't want to make it seem like an experiment. I don't know that I view it this way. It seems like a logical next step to go, well, what haven't we done? And you're right. You mentioned training camp and them preparing. That is the difference. I was trying to place it. I was like, I know they had preseason reps, but it does feel as though, they are truly preparing for this game more so than I'd seen from end of July into early August leading to a preseason game.
No doubt. Tuesday's practice before the Thursday preseason game. I mean, it wasn't the most intense thing, put it that way. And that's because they're going to play their starters Thursday night. We have something to address. You mentioned the defense and some questions there. And I am pretty confident in two new faces. They're going to be difference makers on the Bengals defensive front. We'll get to them coming up next. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Foxmiller. I'm James Rapien. And there's been a lot of talk, Andrew, about the Bengals defensive front, and rightfully so. I think the Bengals have two new faces that are going to matter a ton this season. Do you want me to start with the older one or the younger one?
I'm just trying to think if I already know who they are. Let's go with the one I think I might not know. Let's go with the older one.
The older one. Oh, well, it's TJ Slaton.
Yeah.
TJ Slaton has been awesome. And you've really noticed him. I've really noticed him when they put the pads on. And his first step quickness, his ability to just take up space, get a little pass rush juice, which is what the old number 98 DJ Reader did from that nose tackle spot. TJ Slaton is going to matter. I think he's a tone setter for this Bengals defensive front. And bringing him in has been huge. It's going to help everybody around him. But I think he's a huge, huge addition, both literally and then also just from a presence standpoint. His impact is felt. Don't be shocked when the captains roll out if TJ Slaton is a captain.
Oh, okay. Didn't see that one coming, that last part there. Captain. Okay. I like it. I was a fan of the signing. The fact that he came from Green Bay, reuniting with Jerry Montgomery, I think that's a narrative that should not be lost for the remainder of the season. I want them telling that story before the Super Bowl in February as this big, how it all
Santa
came
Clara
together.
Standard.
TJ Slaton, career year. It's full circle. Let's tell this whole story. TJ Slaton. Listen, I went into it thinking, I don't even need him to be DJ Reader. I don't care if he has 0 sacks. Minimum expectation, just be a wall. I don't want anything to feel like it can get past you. Anything. And if you can add some pressure, if you can get a sack or two on the stat sheet by the end of the season, that's an added bonus. I'd obviously welcome it. But if that interior is a huge obstacle, and I think TJ Slaton certainly can be for this team, then we free up all the fun stuff on the outside. And it seems fun from what I've seen in training camp with Shemar, assuming we get Trey Hendrickson back, all of it. But TJ Slaton, I love it.
Let's talk about the young guy. And you mentioned him. Shemar Stewart is a weapon. And what do I mean by that? He can play all 4 defensive line spots. Inside ones, you want to line them up here, you want them to line them up there, you want to line them up on the edge, you want to line them up on this side, you want to line them up on that side. Everywhere. And I was talking to a Bengals veteran earlier this week, and he was like, yeah, can you imagine you put Shemar Stewart on the opposing team's worst guard and you say, go to work on 3rd down? I can. Can you imagine you line him up on the edge and he's a really good run stopper on the edge that can be a physical presence as well when you have TJ Slaton and BJ Hill on the inside and Trey Hendrickson on the other side? Like, whoo. One guy mentioned, like, wait till he figures out the NFL level pass rush moves, because he's getting pressure now in practice. It's a lot of second team reps, but Shemar Stewart, they like what he brings, and he's nasty. He's got some nastiness to his game, and that matters, man. That's going to matter against Lamar Jackson. That's going to matter in Cleveland week 1. That has to. And so I'm really bullish on him. I think he's going to matter right away. And whether or not he starts, I don't really think that care. I don't really care about that because he's going to make an impact, and he's one of the most important defensive linemen in that room, ahead of Myles Murphy, ahead of some of these other guys on strict importance, because they're going to need him to make his presence felt on the inside and on the outside.
Let me ask you this. You sort of alluded to it with Shemar, talking about him understanding NFL moves and what he needs to do at this level.
Yep.
You talked about week 1 making an impact.
Yep.
We talked about slow starts in the first segment. You see where I'm going with this. Shemar Stewart, for the reasons we mentioned about contracts, bit of a slow start when it comes to training camp. Seems like he's hit the ground running more than we could have possibly imagined. It's looking great from what I'm seeing against second team or whatever it may be. But now when we're starting regular season, I feel like maybe there's a little bit of Lou Anarumo trauma in me, in that like maybe he's not going to get enough rotation, but there's also an element of, when do we feel confident that he's disciplined, he understands what needs to be done on every snap that he's in there on the field during a meaningful game?
Yeah.
Or do we have concerns there?
Lou trauma? Is that what we would call it? No, I get why you'd ask that. I'm not concerned. It's interesting. Al Golden mentioned him getting into football shape, and that's what's great about these games is he can go in there and play a bunch of different spots and build that up. And it does take time. You can work out and train all day. He was working out at A&M and all the talk that went past that or went about that. But yeah, I think Shemar Stewart is going to matter for them week 1. And there's a realistic path. I just talked up TJ Slaton, where he is their second best defensive lineman this season behind Trey Hendrickson. Right? Like, I think that's pretty darn realistic. And whether he starts or not, I don't think that necessarily matters. He is a freakazoid. When I say he doesn't have a full arsenal of pass rush moves yet, he's still winning. And so that gives you an idea of, he's not perfect. But man, oh man, can he be disruptive even though he hasn't figured it all out yet? And so far, so good there. We'll see it when the games count. We'll obviously have you covered here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Up next, from first round draft pick to undrafted free agent that I think is going to make the team, I'm going to talk with someone that's wearing number 18, and it's not AJ Green. We'll do that coming up next. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Foxmiller. I'm James Rapien, and I caught up with one of the training camp stars for the Bengals this week. Isaiah Williams has been awesome this training camp as he's fighting to make the team. My interview with him brought to you by Lakespur Marketing. They're going to use 100 plus years of experience to help you, and their marketing team is awesome. We've worked with them directly, and you can too. The proof is in their partners. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today. Let's dive into some proof that Isaiah Williams is probably here to stay and is going to make the team. My one-on-one conversation with the Bengals wide receiver. Isaiah, you've made plays throughout camp. Preseason is just a few days away. How has camp gone so far for you?
Man, it's been really a blessing, really just making the most of every opportunity. Whenever coach called my name, just making sure I know the assignment, making the most. Really, my biggest thing is just making the most of every opportunity and being thankful. I've just been thankful for every little thing. Like, if it's just like I got one chance to make a play today, like I'm thankful for that. If I don't have a chance, I'm thankful for that. Just my biggest thing for me this was just growing every single day, learning, making the most of every opportunity.
How hard is this offense to pick up? Because obviously you joined the team in November, and it's mid-season. You know, it's more than mid-season, and they're hitting the ground running. Where are you at now versus where you were at, say, in December when you were trying to piece it together?
When I first got here back in November, December, it was tough. Like, just coming in. But I focused on one position at the time. So at the time, you know, T was battling with some things. So I go in for Z, take them reps. So being able to just focus on one position, Z, it was kind of easier. But then coming back during OTAs, it was like, oh, you at F now. So it's like I had learned Z the whole time, then having to come play F. I took the challenge because in this offense, if you ask mostly everybody, they'll say F the hardest position to learn. So I kind of just took that challenge and was like, this offseason, at least once or twice a week, I'm going to dive into the playbook, make sure I'm looking over the plays, make sure I'm learning everything. And not only learning F, but learning X and Z, learning everything. And I think it's paying off. I could be better at the little details of it, but with time, just more reps and stuff, I'll get better at that.
For those watching, obviously you're talking about the slot spot. What goes into that in this offense? Because I've talked to some of your teammates about it, and it's on the fly. You're making decisions based on the coverages. You got to read things. It's not just reacting.
So the F is always, most of the time, the adjuster. So the F, you moving, you're on the left side of the field, then you're on the right side of the field. On top of that, like some of the plays, you're not tagged. So like sometimes you're the one that got to figure out what I got based on this play. Like, or if it's NASCAR with a Z race, it's telling the Z what to do, so the X know what to do because he got the race. Now it's like SF, what do I got? Like, stuff like that. That's kind of what I've been playing since I started playing receiver back in my third year of college. And I kind of became comfortable. It's like I feel like I can play both outside and inside, but I feel like I have a skill set that like could really help me do damage in the slot.
Troy Walters is someone that a lot of people like. I know he's helped Jamar and T. Obviously, everyone knows that. But when he played a similar role that you're playing now. He was returning, and he was with Peyton Manning and all that. Have you talked with him about that, and how valuable has he been?
I told him yesterday, like 2 days ago, he showed us some of his tape. The day we had one-on-ones, he showed like some of his one-on-one clips, and I'm like, dang, he was special. I see why he won the Heisman. Like, he was different. Everybody in the room could attest to it. He a great teacher. Like, we never out there confused. He know how to relate to all of us. Like, he know how to relate a certain play to T. He know how to relate a certain play to me, certain play to Jamar. Like, he's just a great coach at teaching people the ins and outs. We, like, similar in a way. Like, smaller guys, punt return, kick return, quicker. I think I grow like a certain, like, I kind of pay attention to everything. Like, I'm listening to every little detail. I always tell people, I'm like, man, it's crazy that I ended up on a team like this. And then my coach, like, in a way, like, looking at his tape, I'm like, dang, like, so being able to be coached by him, it's a blessing because in a way, like, he could relate a lot to, like, probably some of the stuff that I have to go through or some of my gifts also. Like, man, it's a blessing to have him as a coach.
Do you think it's going to be like preseason game number one? It's your first time playing in a game in a while, and your role is different than it was in December. You know, when you were practicing, just trying to play catch up, you're battling to make this team and be a factor on this team.
For me, I just want to go out there and leave it all out there. Like, it's been on my mind a lot. Like, just the preseason, being able to really show what I could do in a game setting, because I feel it. I really haven't been able to even show one of my best attributes, and that's like yak. You know what I'm saying? And I'm more comfortable and I have more confidence and faith than I ever did like in my life. And I think that's a testament to this offseason, just growing my relationship with God. I think that's a testament to a lot of that, but I'm more confident and got more faith than I ever had in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I really want to go out there and let it all out and just, like, you know, show people what it's like when you put God first, like what he could do. Like, so I'm so excited for them games. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm ready for them games.
Really good stuff there. I think he's a roster lock, Andrew. We'll see if he makes the team. We'll see how he does in the preseason, but I really like what we've seen from number 18, and exciting times. A little quick, fast slot receiver who clearly understands the nuances of the game. We're going to go from that, a second-year player trying to make the team, to the Bengals' newest offensive weapon, and what Andrew thinks about Noah Fant coming up next. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox-Miller. I'm James Rapien, and the Bengals signed Noah Fant last week, a former first-round pick at tight end. He's had at least 400-plus receiving yards in each of his 6 NFL seasons, and now he's in Cincinnati. Andrew, everyone watching and listening to Cincinnati Bengals talk has heard my thoughts on Noah Fant, but what say you? What do you think about number 86 in stripes.
It's weird to say this about a player like Noah Fant. This isn't some huge marquee player or anything like that, but I didn't think we'd be here. Like, I mean, we talked about the speculation. He came for his visit. You saw the comments on our YouTube channel. I saw it on social media. There's a lot of people like, hey, cool. It's cool that he came and visited. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But we all know he's just going to go get paid somewhere else. That's just how this works. The Bengals aren't in a position where they need him so much that they're going to pay him as though they need him more than any other team. But here we are, James. Like, for me, this is about as win-win as you can get from both sides of the agreement. The Bengals get a weapon, a 6'4", 250-pound receiver, essentially, for a year. And Noah Fant gets, or hopes to get, essentially what CJ Uzomah, Hayden Hurst, even Mike Gesicki were able to get, a payday after being part of this offense. I get it that it might seem crowded and there are only so many targets to go around, but again, this is a good problem to have because at the end of the day, Noah Fant chose the Bengals. He chose Joe Burrow, just like Gesicki did, and like Noah Fant, I have to assume that other players are going to be taking notes when it's their turn to hit the market.
I love the signing. I thought if he was looking for the best fit, it was Cincinnati. I thought if he was looking for the most money and instant starting job, it was Miami. If the Saints just threw him 2 Brinks trucks, well, then maybe he would have went to New Orleans. Obviously, that wouldn't have been a good fit. Overall, I think he made the right choice. He's going to matter in Cincinnati. Excited to see how Noah Fant fits in. We're going to have you covered every single step of the way right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching and listening